Good morning. Good morning. I am live from Atlantic City, New Jersey. I hope you can hear me well. I've got a ring light on and everything. I want to tell you what it's been like the past couple of days. I have this totally nocturnal existence now. That means I have not been sleeping at night. I've been getting things done. First off, I'm really thirsty. I thought I was going to be pouring a cup of coffee to share with you. Oh, yeah. Pull up a chair, sit down, pour your favorite beverage. If you got some weed, smoke out. I forgot to press the button on the coffee maker. So the coffee did not pour out. And if I seem like I'm distracted, my instant messenger is going off. And it seems to me it always is when I'm talking on camera that somebody's trying to talk to me on instant messenger. But you know what? YouTube comes first. And so I'm just going to have to ignore them. I guess they can tell, when you're on Facebook, you can see the green light and you can tell when people are awake. And since I sometimes am the only idiot up when certain of my other friends are up, this, I am so thirsty. This is a flavor of Coca Cola. I don't know if you've heard of it before. It says Ultimate Limited Edition Coca Cola, zero sugar. It's got bat wings on it. It says 0 calorie cola, XP flavor, and it's got real cool graphics. I'm a sucker for bat wings. And when I see X Wing XP, I think of Windows XP, but it doesn't taste too different than most other Coca Colas I've tried. I like it, I enjoy it. And this glassware I want to show you. Don't worry, you guys, I haven't given up my sobriety. This is just Coca Cola. This is cut crystalware. I found somebody dropped off a bunch of these glasses, and I love the feel of stemware. And since my coffee maker did not go off because this idiot forgot to press the button, and I'm thirsty. And one thing I noticed here, I'm bent over because I want you guys to get my whole head to toe here. Once I move this, I have to think of where I'm going to have to move my camera and everything. I want you to still be able to get my head to toe. Anyway, I'm using a liquid lip color that doesn't come off. See? And the thing is with them, when you get dehydrated, your mouth ends up becoming misshapen because I guess you're dehydrated and I don't know, but anyway, you have to adjust it. And that's the one thing that annoys me about these lip colors, even though they're great because they could stay put all day and all that. Until you start eating, you can't eat Kentucky Fried Chicken or Popeye's chicken or anything and expect not to make a mess. But anyway, I'm so thirsty. Good morning. It's a Sunday morning. It is now 7:47 a.m. I took some of my window covering off. You can definitely see. I won't say the sun's up because while the sun may be coming up, we've got a nice rain going on. So let me tell you about the first day that I stayed up all night. It was partly to get some housework done because my mom was impressing upon me that we were waiting for the pest control. So you want to clean up as much as possible, right? Okay. And I threw out recycling, I threw out trash, I donated a bunch of clothes, and then I found some clothes too, and I hand washed those, and I may show them to you in the broadcast if I haven't shown you already. And by the way, this was something that I found like a month or two ago. I said, "Oh my god, I have to have it." I mean, come on. And with stress waistband, I can live. I can have it for the next 30 years. Knowing me, right? So yeah, I'm doing all these things, getting things done. We had the window of between noon and 4 p.m. to do this. Now, Comcast cable, by the way, gives you a 2 hour window now. And if they're late past the 2 hour window, you get a $20 credit toward your bill. Well, I don't say a whole lot of good things about Comcast, having been a user of them for too many years, but that's one good thing they are doing now. But so we're waiting around for the Comcast, for the pest control guy. Now, my mother's home, of course. Where's she going to go? I'm home. And the other person that lives here is home also, because we specifically arranged for this appointment to be when all of us would be home. And plus, I was waiting on a package, which, by the way, didn't arrive either. So, came and went after 4 o'clock, and I was also itching to film for my YouTube channel also. Oh, and by the way, yes, I know I'm a day late. I wanted to do something yesterday. We had noise downstairs. was one of the things. Also, I finally got tired, and I knew once I laid down and closed my eyes, I was courting trouble because I was afraid of falling asleep and not doing a video before, to make my schedule. But sometimes when you eat, you fall asleep, and I smeared my makeup. And so, anyway, that's why I'm doing my, what's supposed to be my Saturday night show. You're getting the Sunday morning live. So that's why you're getting this. And I actually took notes this time. I don't want to screw anything up, even though I'm going to bounce around, and you're just going to have to follow along with me as best you can, and like I said, smoke them if you got them. That might help you understand me better. So we're all ready and everything. And my mom decided to pick up the phone and call a series of people. She called pest control. She left a message for a certain preacher that we talked to who didn't know anything about it. She talked to the pest control people that claims that somebody canceled. Well, the preacher didn't do it. Nobody in this building knew about it except us, and I gave a courtesy notice, not a written notice, but a verbal notice to some of the people who I know who live behind me. Say, look, we're getting a pest control anytime between noon and 4. So, and usually they do one room and then they do the others and then they go downstairs. That's usually how they do it. But and it's no, a lot of times we're the last to know. So I figure let's not treat people that way. Let's let people know, because I believe in being a good neighbor. So, and that's why I'm thinking maybe when I said to them, the pest control guys up there, maybe there's somebody said, oh, the person who's subletting that night is maybe not going to want to be disrupted by anything that might possibly be a repercussion of a pest control visit. I don't know. When you get a pest control, does that mean the things start raining from the ceiling if you're having a church service or something? Tell me. Even though that could work to your advantage when your collection plate comes around, you make it seem like it's the horde of locusts or some kind of biblical pestilence. You can work it, considering that they don't pay taxes. I mean, there's a reason why everybody's uncle has churches around here. But so yeah, we're waiting for this pest control that didn't show up, and they claimed that it was canceled. And then they rescheduled for a day in the middle of December during a 2-day period of time. Pay attention, please, when my mother is going to be in the hospital getting some tests done on her heart. This is not stuff you play around with. And also, one of those days, the other person who lives here is going to be out of town doing something. He's going to be up north. Hi, Amir. Good to see you. Oh, hold on a second. What am I looking for? Oh, yeah. Oops. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm right behind you. What do you think I have in my hand? JB, hello, Dracula, SWBF2. I want to tell you something, Dracula. Your name, when I see the SWBF, you want to know what that makes me think of? That makes me think of a hair bleach. When I bleach my hair before I put my dye in, I have to put this powder in. I mix with peroxide, okay? And one of the kinds of bleaches is called BW something, but anyway, it always makes me think of a hair dye. And I always like to have some extra on stock or whatever. And by the way, especially since my favorite beauty supply place went out of business now, this is driving me crazy. This guy, I'm going to take a chance that I'm not Xing out the uh, tab right now. I'm getting instant message by one of my idiot friends. And I want to say idiot, but I mean, but please don't think I'm ignoring you. I just want to fucking tell him I'm on my YouTube channel. It's like, what the fuck is this? Live now. Interrupting. God. Oh. Okay, you wouldn't believe what the guy said. I said on Facebook, that I was getting ready to go live here on YouTube. So what he does is he responds to me by way of Facebook Messenger, and all he says is, "No way, man." And so what do I say to him but stop interrupting me? I'm telling you, some of my friends are not the sharpest knives in the bucket, okay? I'm sorry, something has to be said. So, Amir, look at this. This is a 3M Aura NIOSH N95 N2O S4. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, yeah, I got him. So, So let me tell you all the things that I want to talk to you about. So pest control is not coming. And we had done all this cleaning, which okay, cleaning is never something that you regret doing. You can always cleaning is always good, right? So we did some clean. I mean, I even cleaned the sink over here, the bathroom sink closest to here. I scrubbed it. I scrubbed it because I figured that's one of the places the bug guy was going to treat, you know. You could literally lick the drain off that if you wanted to. Uh, oh, that's so cool. Speaking of Timu, did you know that if they give you an approximate date to expect a package and they give you tracking and all this stuff. And I've already obviously got my first package. Well, when they're late, they will give you a $5 credit toward your next shopping. And I think they must put some addiction thing in it or something. Because once I figured out that that timeout thing didn't mean it wasn't like you had to make your decisions in a half hour or something, you know. And plus, I looked at the thing and I took notes. I'm a very careful shopper. Number one, because I have to watch my money very carefully. Number two, I'm making strategic purchases. If I know I need hair dye and I need skincare and I get it every year, it doesn't mean I'm going to get it from the same place. You know, if I'm getting a better deal here, the fact that they give free shipping, that is so key because I was a Wish girl and I still love Wish, but you're paying more for shipping than you do for merchandise. And then you're waiting the month and all that. You know, that's a lot. So, okay, I figure out the bug guy's not going to be here. We were not happy about that, but you know, it is what it is, right? So, then let's see, I'm looking at my notes here. Uh, then I stayed up the second time because I figured that there's this park where the buses turn around and a lot of my homeless friends hang out there. And there's a couple of churches that hang out, like ramen noodles and stuff. And then sometimes people campaign, otherwise known as IRA, who I saw walking down the street the day before yesterday. I literally ran outside without a coat, even though it was like 30 some degrees, because I hadn't seen him literally in 3 months. I heard he never answers his phone. He's a guy that gave me my mic stand. Okay. He's why is it stuck here? My friend plays guitar outside, gave me this big, heavy duty mic stand that I'm afraid to carry outside because it looks like a machine gun. Imagine walking down the street with this. I mean, you don't want to let a man friend carry it because it looks dangerous, you know? I imagine they probably make cases for them that don't look like that. But they feel because they're metal, they feel like I would imagine security would really be concerned. Thank you, Dracula. See, I'm a little bit of a Luddite, if you guys haven't figured out. I do things in a very more primitive way. When so many people had laptops, well, they didn't have laptops, they had desktop computers. I had a web TV and I was doing using they're good for teaching you basic HTML. And I had my MySpace page, which I need to update. I haven't posted on MySpace in over a year. And I usually post all my YouTube videos and I do some political things. I want to correct some things that I have in my bio there on MySpace, though, because I have some things that, in the light of today's political climate, are a bit incendiary. I have some things that I posted on in my bio about what I feel about one of the world's largest religions in light of terrorism and stuff. And I want to say instead of I just want to word things differently. Either not bring it up at all or just say uh I don't know. Maybe it'd be better not to bring it up. But then again, for many years, so much a part of my identity was trying to educate people and just feeling passionate about trying to be, I want to leave the world a better place. And it's not just the fantasies that so many people have, the delusions of grandeur. We all want to be bring out our inner superhero. But yeah, I really want to do better things in life. Whether it's pick up the recyclables, and I hate it when you see trash people throw around. They get drunk and they throw the bottles around, and plus when the wind blows, it makes noise, and it gets on my nerves. And they throw things on the beach and it litters that beautiful beach. I mean, come on. And it's the drunks don't realize what they're doing. And so I'm picking up after my drunk friends. More on that later. But yeah, that's part of my identity is wanting to be on the side of right. But I realize that there's a lot of people who are very sincere people who they do what is actually really bad things, but they feel that they're doing right. So you have to really check yourself and examine your motives and talk to other people and just have to be thoughtful human being. And I think it also boils down to treating other people the way you want to be treated. That, goes a long way. Anyway, enough on that. When I realized we weren't getting the pest control thing, I'm thinking, okay, we did this cleaning. And the thing is, I don't really get tired during the daytime, except sometimes when I'm watching a TV show I like, sometimes I fall asleep. But that is so damn annoying. In the middle of Golden Bachelor, okay? That is so damn annoying. But the thing is, I've gotten in a habit of I have with the I'll show you my remote. You can actually DVR things. What you do is you go to TV Guide and listing, which is not to be confused with the magazine, and you can actually tape something while you're watching it and DVRs it. So if I fall asleep in the middle of whatever, I have it taped and I can watch it, or I'm like or I'll tape something, for instance, and good thing I did, because I'll forget that it's running, and I'll go when there's a commercial, and I'll go and I'll talk to my mother, or I'll have something on the stove. And whenever you have things on the stove, you're going to have to keep on going back and forth. And I'll realize, oh, the thing back on is back on because the commercial's off, and I missed 15 minutes or something. And I'm glad that I taped things. And this DVR thing, the function is built in. It's included with the Comcast thing. That's really groovy because you don't have to worry about with the VHS tapes and worrying about the programming. I remember I had a problem with programming. I always pressed things, just waited till it was about to start and taped things then. But my mother, she was really good at programming and she was good at reading instructions. She was basically the tech head in the household growing up. She was. And she always kept all the, and I got this habit from her. She kept all the user manuals in one place, uh, so you knew where to find them. So she's really organized well that way. And now I rely on her because she has better vision. Even though I can grab those reading glasses, and that really helps. So no pest control. What are we going to do? Kind of pissed off, right? And meanwhile, then Friday rolls around, and one of my street sisters, I knew it was her birthday. But unfortunately, that's also when the rain started, and I wanted to do something for her because, I know what it's like to have a birthday come around and it's crappy outside and there's not a lot to do. I was lucky that for my birthday, it was pretty nice weather, and I was able to hang outside. It certainly wasn't raining, and I was able to get dressed up and at least run around dancing to somebody's boombox tunes on the boardwalk or whatever. I made it something, and I had friends around that made it something, and I got to do some of the things I wanted to do, and it wasn't too bad. So I'm thinking, let me go defrost some birthday cake, go find her by the stage over by Boardwalk Hall, right? And so about midnight or so, I went out. There's a break in the rain. I went out there and could not find her anywhere. And then I could hear the sounds of some people having a crazy cuckoo fight over by the railing. I'm thinking, I'm not getting anywhere near that. I'm keeping my distance. People are going to be crazy. You don't know the unpredictability. I don't need to be involved. It's not my business. Okay. So I didn't see the person that I wanted to see, and I didn't even go as far as Bally's. I just walked around Boardwalk Hall area and stuff because I didn't know if it was going to all of a sudden downpour. I didn't take the time to look at the radar again just before leaving. I was pretty sure it was going to be a couple of hours, and it was in the middle 50s. It wasn't even. I kept my coat open. I could have worn a mini skirt that night. Matter of fact, I think I did have no. No, I had pants on. I could have had the skirt on, but the thing is, things were really unpredictable. A lot of it has to do with if I'm filming, if it's fun out and it's not really windy, if I'm not going to go all the way up there. But I never know how far I'm going to go. Sometimes I go up around ocean. Sometimes I'm looking for certain people. Sometimes I'm trying to avoid certain people. I'm checking to see how the police are treating people differently since the fire at resorts. It's just I'm doing a lot more walking around side streets, looking at the piles of things people leave behind. Oh, did I tell you how I found this cat? This cat. I thought I heard a meowing sound in a plastic bag the day before trash day. And what does anybody do but you tear open the bag and make sure to rescue the animal? See, this says fur, FUR, real, and it's got some kind of battery in it, obviously, and it says spot clean only. I didn't want to short circuit the battery, so I used antibacterial wipes. But being a germaphobe, I'm a little bit concerned about the cleanliness issue. But anyway, I have to show you the kitty. Yep, there, stay there. Whoops, stay there. Please. Oh, I think the cat will stay. All right, so I went out briefly, but I came back home, and so then I'm thinking, okay. Then obviously I filmed because you got to film a video the other day. But then I'm thinking I want to get up to. I'm sometimes I'm thinking why don't I just keep the makeup on and just refresh it and do the second day, right? But then I'll invariably realize that I screwed up the makeup and everything. You have to wash it off anyway. Plus the skincare is important. So I did that, and I was going to go to this park thing that I thought was going to go on. But guess what? I missed that. So I went inside this place called the Red Door instead, and I had a couple of hot dogs and some baked beans. That were really good baked beans, by the way, and asked if I wanted coffee, and I said yes, please. But they didn't. They said they didn't have any black coffee. So I said that's okay. Then no, thank you, because I only drink coffee black with either sweet and low or sugar in it, right? But I was really surprised when somebody gave me a cup of black coffee, and I didn't sweeten it or anything. But I carried it. I took it back so I would have something to give to my mother. Okay. So, but as I was walking home, where by the way, there is a certain shop called Miss Aubrey's that they have the lady does sewing work. She's like a tailor, and she's been a pillar of the community for decades. They have all kinds of secondhand clothes, and she's a bit of a local historian, and she's a benefactor. She's helped children for years, and nobody would ever say a bad thing about the woman. But I noticed they had a blue electric guitar in the window, and that definitely caught my attention. And I took some pictures of it. But that said, it looks like one of those no-name brands. It just has a nice lacquer job. It isn't necessarily better than the $200 guitar I already have. I think both of my guitars are cheap guitars, so I don't think I need another cheap guitar that just happens to have a cute coat of paint on it. Unless I can get it for like $50 or something. Because I'm thinking if every guitar smells, yeah. Listen to me. Yes, I did smoke weed earlier. Oh, that's another thing on the weeds subject. There are, if you didn't know already, people in this neighborhood, you can pretty much buy anything you want. And people get a little noisy sometimes. And that's one of the things that's annoying about living in the inner city. Well, but if you're picking up roaches and things, I will tolerate a lot more if you make it worth my while. You leave roaches around and stuff, and sometimes they will even individual people that you have friendly relationships with. Hello, how you doing? Nice weather or sucky weather or whatever. Or watch out, the police are hanging out. Blah blah blah. Sometimes they give me weed. not a whole lot's mind you, but pieces here and there. And I'm grateful for that. Believe me, it adjusts my attitude. It helps. It helps to de-stress me. Well, look at what I actually found about an hour ago. Look how big this is. Isn't this awesome? Now, also, uh, when it was now, keep in mind right now it is 8:09 a.m. It does not look. It looks so dreary out because it's rain is coming down, and you can always tell how hard the rain is going by looking at a puddle, and you can tell by the way the rain's hitting it. But yeah, the weed has been plentiful these past couple of days. That is wonderful. That is so wonderful. And the free fashion has been great between the fashion and the books. Oh, and one of the nights I decided to go out because sometimes you feel this, or I feel this kind of wanderlust. I just want to walk around and see who's out, get some fresh air. Look for friends, talk to people, get information, share information, see if there's a pile of clothes that I dropped off. I donated 8 items of clothing that I no longer needed. That everything was taken. It's so good that things don't just end up thrown out. That people find use, or that better yet, when you see there's something that you've given off that somebody put something on. That is so cool. And plus, I feel like I'm doing something for somebody else. And it's such a groovy thing. It is. And there's this special certain place. There's lots of places that people drop things off. People dig through, and pretty much any clothing, any trash day. Oh man, there's a street, couple streets over. Their trash day, man. You dig through things. That's a place where they must have a lot of kids or something. You get these really clean stuffed animals, and if there's a certain animal you like I got the seal, that cute baby seal, and I got the cat, and I never like tug at your heartstrings, cute, and I clean them real good. Those are the things you actually can. And when they say machine washable, they don't have any batteries or anything where you have to worry about. You wash them real good, sterilize them real good, and then I find metal containers and protect them from. So if you live with vermin such as mice who will tear these things apart to make nests, you want to protect your things. And like containers, like here, I try to find my things as much as possible, but I actually paid $1 for this at the Central Pier 99-cent store. It's supposed to be a drum from the Revolutionary War era. And since I love Americana, I love a Revolutionary War era, and plus it could in theory be used as a drum. I mean, what's not to love? It's a win-win. And this, at first I was protecting food in them so the mice can't get them, or worse. Ants even. One thing now with the cold weather, we don't have as many ants. There's all these different shapes and sizes of ants, and with the people who are hanging out literally in the front door, uh, and you think that doesn't help attract the ants? You have all these little ant hills. Do me a favor. Next time you're walking down any city street, look at the cracks in the sidewalk where the concrete is put together, block to block to block. You will a lot of times see ant hills. There's ant hills underneath your feet. And you think that they don't come into buildings? They do. And so these people leaving food around. Uh, somebody left a full order of French fries. They must have gotten high and they left it. Total, I don't think they ate any fries out of it. I put it in the toaster oven, heated it, killed all. When you put something 400 degrees, you kill all germs. And yeah, maybe there's a chance that some creepy person may be poisoning food, leaving it out for people. But you know what? It didn't kill me. My mom and I shared that. Hello, don't fucking waste food. It's ridiculous. Anyway, these things are great for safeguarding both food and stuffed animals. I have this bigger one that I have all kinds of stuffed animals that I'm protecting. And also, you guys remember my Greyhound buses, my little Greyhound buses? I protected them. And also, this I this is a bucket that has stuffed animals in it. This includes the seal I told you about, and some cats and things, and also Tabby Boy's baby. Remember Tabby Boy's baby? he would carry it around and cry and make sounds. My Greyhound bus is in here. These will protect your keepsakes. Now, I have a cardboard box from my days as an Avon representative. And this is full of all kinds of keepsakes, from stuffed animals to paper to whatever, that I realize I have to mouse proof, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to have to go through those things and put them in containers. I should probably try to get some square metal containers to protect things. And I think I'm going to also have to go back to some of the things I thought I already cleaned and protected. I have some clothes that I have in plastic, and I am worried about if, say, something wasn't sealed. I saw areas where mice walked around because they leave behind mice poop. You can tell it looks like black rice, but it's not. And I'm thinking, whenever that happens, then anything that's underneath that has to be rewashed. And that pisses me off, because you know how much time it takes to do hand laundry. Do any of you do your laundry by hand, or do you all use machines? I do everything by hand. It takes time. And speaking of the time wasting, one of my idiotic friends, I was wearing a knit hat, and I had it over my eyes real low, because sometimes when I have no makeup on, I just have skincare, and I go outside and look for roaches or whatever. The last thing I want is for people to see me in all my unmade up glory. So I'll put the hat on over my eyes, and and if you know me, you know me, whatever. And I got my leather trench coat on to keep the rain off of me, whatever. So my idiot friend, who shall be nameless, what does he do? He takes my hat off and he throws it out into the street. And I said, dude, I have to wash that by hand. You know how long it takes for them to dry? I mean, you're talking at least 3 or 4 days. That's bullshit. None of these people, and they're mostly homeless, are a slave to pans full of hot, soapy water. And by the way, if you get careless and you let it cool off too many days, bacteria start growing and everything smells bad. And you rinse it, say you didn't smell it first, and all of a sudden it smells like sour milk or something, and you have to wash it all over again. And if it's something heavy like a sweater, do you know how much time that takes? Because you have to lie them flat when you dry them and stuff. Unless, of course, it's something that's really, really, really short, because it's a children's thing, and you wouldn't mind it being a little bit longer, in which case, then yes, go ahead and hang your sweater on a hanger. And metal hangers, people swear by, all metal hangers are terrible, they're bad for fabric. Guess what? I love metal hangers. They take up much less space. You know how many metal hangers, if you have a clothes pole of however length, metal hangers, you could fit so many more of them in there. Plus, if you use those things where you can put 6 hangers on one thing, the whole of each one, you can put so many metal hangers. Assuming it's something really lightweight like t-shirts, you can hang so many things. So I love metal hangers. And plus, they're useful for other things. Metal hangers are good for antenna extenders. If your antenna breaks off on your radio and all you have is a stub, you stick the metal, straighten out the metal hanger part, so you have this and this, and you extend your antenna. And you can do that to any antenna. Uh, and anyway, yeah. So things that have uses. Also, you can use metal coat hangers to train plants around in your garden. You can use it to use wire cutters, and use wire coat hangers to make edges around plants, like borders and stuff. Lots of things you can do with wire coat hangers. Anyway, let me put this down. I just wanted to show you that this is something. Oh, another thing I got the other day. Next time I have flowers, always looking for a vase or something, and I'm usually end up using like stupid dishware and stuff. Well, I have a vase. It's just cheap painted, whatever. But I have something for flowers now. So, okay, I want to put this back. I have a few more things to talk about that are a little important. Oh, remember that cat, Garfield? That orange cat that lives the street around here? I've been seeing him again a lot. And sometimes I see him when I'm taking out my recycling, because if the gates open in one of the parking lots nearby, I use their recycling buckets. I take out my recycling there. I don't use recycling buckets that the ACUA gives to people anymore because people take them too many times. And sometimes somebody gets drunk and they get angry and they kick them down and they make mess all around the street. And who needs that? It's easier for me to just take recycling and take it to somebody else's big recycling bins. And so that's what I've been doing. And okay, I'm going to move this because there's too many shadows in my face. So yeah, so I've been going to turn the recycling over to, these places where I know I can reliably drop it off. And so a lot of times, since I'm up at all wee hours, I drop off cans, paper, all that stuff. And if I absolutely have to, there's always the street corner. Most corners around here have both trash things and recycling things, even though those municipal things have smaller holes. And if you have certain things, you can't always crush things to fit inside. But I know some homeless people that have keys to some of the trash things that they can actually access to dig through if you want to look in a bucket. That would have come in handy the day that I lost my tablet that time. But the thing is that it rained the day before and there was this much standing water in them. So if anybody had thrown anything in, the only thing that would have been helpful is if I could have taken a memory chip out. Yeah. But okay, so getting back to my story, and again, I'm having to look at my notes here because the thing is, I didn't write them in any specific order. Oh yeah, when I was walking around, I get this wanderlust thing, and I decide to walk around the streets and at night in the wee hours. I used to go when I was stoned. I would go to 7-Eleven at say 3 o'clock in the morning to get chips, barbecue potato chips, or whatever. You get your munchies, right? But I don't have that kind of disposable income now. If I want to treat myself with a couple extra bucks, I'd rather, instead of junk food, a dollar bag of chips that's going to be in one end and out the other, I would rather invest in something like a bottle of really beautiful skincare, like this rose water or something. $3, get me something like that. Have something to show for it. It might last me a year. I don't know how long it's going to last. Anyway, you get your point. So I'm walking around and I see this pile of drawers from a chest of drawers. And I'm curious, I'm going to dig around because it's trash day up the street, right? I found some joke books, including a little children's joke book, like for school kids. And it was from like the 50s or 60s. Okay. And I'm thinking, I think my mother would like this. My mom, she's been really grouchy lately. And I'll tell you one of the reasons why my mom's grouchy. It's not just because she's her age and you get aches and pains from being her age. And it's not just because she's dealing with me. Part of why my mother is so stressed out is because she's been trying to deal with her health insurance. Her dental part of her health insurance, all of a sudden they want to double her insurance premium to from $10 a month to $20 a month. And then they wanted to cut in half what her benefits are. And they end up leaving her on hold for over 2.5 hours. And she waited with having the kind of patience to do that. And of course, whenever you're put on hold, you know how they make you suffer through whatever insufferable music. It's the same thing. You just suffer through it. And my mother did. And it's like every time I went into her room to hang up a piece of laundry or something. Because that's the thing, is most of the laundry drip dries in her room. That's one of the ultimate places to dry clothes because it's the warmest room in the house. The radiator's right there. There's a clothes rack hanging over the radiator. It's a really great place to dry clothes. And since half the clothes I'm drying, washing are in fact her clothes, and her chest of drawers is there, so it makes sense. Her room is kind of a big hub of the house, just like the kitchen is pretty much our house's living room, because the living room itself was taken over by the other person that lives here. He took that as his bedroom, and so it is what it is. So yeah, I dropped dry things in my mother's room, and I found this joke book, and I brought it in to my mother after I came back from my gallivanting trip. And you know how it's a shame. The only way I could get pictures with my mother is when I sneak a camera into her. I'll go into her room and I'll carry my laptop and I'll set it on her chest of drawers and like say, okay, she is sitting here and everything, and I'll sit, the chest of drawers is here. and I'll put the computer here, and of course the camera is going right to her, and I'll set it up. But like, Mom, you are ready for your cup of coffee? Yeah. Pour the coffee, snap the picture because you put it on the timer, and then when she catches me, she gets mad, but she knows that I want to have pictures with my mom. Everybody wants pictures of the people they love. Well, nobody's getting any younger. Come on. And of course, she says, "Oh, my hair is gray. I need a haircut." Well, I gave her a haircut last time. Seems like I just last week gave her a haircut. And the thing is, at the time, though, it was by maybe a month or two ago. At the time, it was too hot to dye her hair because, as it is, it was so hot and sweaty here that her hair was plastering to her scalp. When I was shaving her neck so that I could cut it, because her hair has a very short haircut, her hair was literally plastered to her scalp. We never were able to color her hair. This time, I'm going to cut her hair and I'm going to color her hair, and it's going to be in the next day or two. As soon as the other person that lives here, he's leaving for 3 or 4 or 5 days, getting a hotel room somewhere up north, or maybe just up in the inlet. I don't know. But anyway, he'll be out of our hair for a while. That means bathroom access. That means my mother, I can dye her hair and she can do her timing and she can get in there anytime she wants. I'll just have to walk her in there so that she can step over there so she doesn't fall. Because she's afraid of falling. A lot of older people are afraid of falling, you know. Oh, speaking of falling, the person I live with, he fell and hit his head when he was out with friends, and he is a little. I don't know if he got any medical attention, but he people have been falling lately. So yeah. Oh, I'm thirsty. Let me pour some more of this. So yeah, I brought home this joke book to my mother, and I brought the computer in there, and she started laughing, and I sneaked a bunch of pictures with her, and even when she caught me doing it, I think she realizes that, look, man, I want some pictures, you know. Mhm. And don't you like it when my mom's on the channel? So okay, she won't let me film cutting and coloring her hair again, but you know what, you've seen it. You know, when you do pretty much the same thing, you've seen it already. Aside from any new family stories she might choose to share. You know, we've been there, done that. Even though YouTube, likes to take live things down. And this, by the way, let's remind everybody that this is live. Yes, I will do the mask thing for you. I wasn't ignoring you. My friend Amir, he likes to see the mask. This is the Nyosh Aura mask. This is a real thing. Getting a little thread wear, as you can see. Not in the best of shape. Amir, can you see? If anybody likes a band called The Kinks, they have an album and a single called "Give the People What They Want." A real great record. Oh, see a hat that I got over the summer. I don't know what this refers to. I mean, when I see Frisky, I think of cat food, Friskies. I hope it's not something kinky. I don't know. I just see a cute cat. Dumpstar! Hey, okay, it's not what it looks like. I swear, I haven't fallen to the dark side. Unless they have weed. But, uh, oh, speaking of weed, want to smoke some weed? Even though I have to be careful because YouTube likes to take live streams now, and I have not forgotten. What do you think? I'm a trash picker, you guys. I am. The price is right. You know, you don't have to take this one in the little box. Oh, did you see this? This is the only Christmas decoration I have up, for obvious reasons. But oh yeah, this company Timu that I have done the one haul at, I'm expecting two other packages. I love that they have free shipping. They have some trippy ass shit. I can't wait to show you when I get them. And the thing is, I think if there's 2 more days of a delay, they're going to give me $5 credit toward a future order. And I think that is amazing. I'm just starting to scratch the surface at the kind of things you can find there. It's not just useless things. Like in my case, there's things that I need anyway that are better than dollar store prices for some things. You know how you can get at Dollar Tree, you can get certain skincare things. You can get things that are cheaper than that, literally. So, and I'm finding things that I need anyway. Like, okay, hair dye. Let's take hair dye. I found there is a purple dye there that I have. I'm waiting on order that was $2.75. How many of you guys who do different colored hair dye can get hair dye for $2.75? And I'm not talking temporary dye, it's semi permanent dye. Even if it doesn't last 35 washings, say it only lasts 15, which, by the way, if you don't wash your hair at all, guess what? You think the hair dye doesn't fade? I may go 2 months, I'm not exaggerating, without my hair getting any soap and water in it. It may get rained on, yes, but it may not get washed. It fades anyway. So just because it says a hair dye lasts how many washings, if you don't wash your hair dye will still fade. Even if you have, I carry an umbrella. I'm sure most of you don't do that. Umbrellas protect you from the sun. The sun and the wind will oxidize and will fade out hair, exposure to the elements and things. But it's not just washing. So many people don't wash their hair too much, and it's not because they can't get showers and things, but they think that they're protecting their hair. But if you really think that going without shampooing your hair is going to keep the dye from fading, you are mistaken. There's not much you can do about it. And I know I'm sounding like a know it all, but I did have some beauty school training after I left high school. And even with the cutting edge technology dyes that are available today, if it's $25 a jar of hair dye, I'm not going to spring for it. You know that. Anything that's affordable, though, if it's cheap, yes, I will. And my experience with hair dyes, man, just get what you can afford in colors you love. If you know something doesn't damage your hair, get it, and definitely cheap as possible. And if I discover these Asian brands that I think are wonderful, now to know that skincare, well, there's skincare and makeup and stuff from all over the world. And even though, yes, I love to buy America and save our jobs and stuff, I also think if you're a good person, I'd love to do business with you. If you got something, certainly there's a price point that even I can afford and it's something that I need and I love, like hair dye, skincare. Yes, it's not just a luxury. It's something, I can't imagine not having my purple dye, right? So, but, so I have an idea. Let me run it by you. How would you like an idea from my mom to do a video with me where we get some of her favorite corny jokes? She's a mom, okay? She's kind of uptight. She doesn't like profanities, all the dirty words, and I love it. So my mom is real uptight. But she likes, because she was a school teacher, she likes 50s kitty humor, corny stuff. And there are some jokes that she was looking at. It was so funny that we had belly laughs, and that plus some jokes she already has. So I'm thinking, Richard, oh my God, Richard, I was just talking about you to my mom. Richard Knight is a friend of mine and my mother's, and he worked with my mom. And I could see a whole lot, but it's not my story to tell. And you gave me the brilliant idea, running to my mom, that why don't she go on camera with that book and maybe some other joke books and just whatever is really funny and family friendly and silly, you know. And I know you guys would like it. I know that I have people that watch my videos because they want to see, Richard, it was you that said that watching my videos was like coming home, sitting in an easy chair, pull up your coffee, put your feet up, your dog gives you your slippers, you got your newspaper here, you got the evening news on, and it's comfortable, and let's talk about life. Yeah. And wow. You still see the rain? It is so delightfully dreary out there. It's so cool because you know what? It chases some of the riffraff out there. And because it's Sunday morning, there's going to be people getting ready for the church thing that's going on downstairs. And the great thing is when that lets out around noon, is that they're going to give us all this free coffee. I mean, seriously, a carafe of coffee plus a Folgers, the Folgers blue buckets that you can get, like not 5 pounds, like 3.5 pounds of coffee. Well, imagine that full hot coffee and a carafe of coffee. Okay. So, yeah, it might very well happen this morning. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, how I ended up seeing the Christmas parade yesterday is I happened to be walking up Atlantic Avenue and I saw Santa Claus, I saw the Grinch, I think the Atlantic City High School marching band, or there's some really good schools where I really liked the dancing. The girls wore, I don't know what the school was, but the girls wore gold sequin shorts and black tops. And I thought that was just so smart. I just, yeah, I only got to see maybe the last five acts because this was near the bus turnaround at South Carolina Avenue. And that's why I didn't get to. I was surprised that I got to take the pictures of the blue guitar that I was admiring. But again, it being a no name kind of guitar, that I don't think it would be worth it, unless it would just be worth it just to have something really cheap that I can have strung on a totally different kind of strings. Not my Diodario extra lights, but something different. Every guitar should have different kind of strings on. So each it has to maximize the differentness of the sound of each instrument. That's just my uneducated opinion as somebody who's not a rock star but who wants to have variety of. If I'm going to be collecting musical instruments, I want each one to sound discernibly different. I want to maximize without having to resort to getting a bunch of pedals and the distortion things and learning all the gear, which I can't invest in with this pest control issue. I can't get an amp because you know what gets in amps. I can't get any of that stuff. No. And it's a really bummer because these electric guitars are just taunting me. Well, actually, no, these aren't because they all have 5 strings. Yeah, the only thing is 6 strings is my acoustic, and I'm so afraid of it snapping on the boardwalk. This is good soda. I don't even know if you can get it at regular stores. I believe this has been diverted to the social services market and different agencies that give out food to people and stuff in the parks and stuff. They're giving out. The cases only seem to come in the bottles of size, which is 7.5 fluid ounces. But this is really good. And I like the fact that it doesn't have any sugar in it. Even though I like the sugar, I like I like the sweet and low version, with saccharin in it. The current crop of sugar-free sodas that has aspartame in it, I don't like aspartame. I wish they would go back to the ingredients in sweet and low. Which, by the way, and cyclemates. By the way, you guys, any of you are old enough to remember when Tab was a thing? There was nothing wrong with the cyclemates in Tab, but there was a hole in it. I hope I don't get in trouble because this is a live stream. But don't remember Donald Rumsfeld before he became famous for what we know him for now. He used to be head of a certain regulatory agency, and I believe that gave him power of deciding what sweeteners got FDA approval, or maybe I'm confusing agencies, but anyway, he had something to do with the fact that they discontinued having cyclamates, that they were not carcinogenic after all. But anyway, I'm a sweet and low girl. This is supposed to be sugar-free cola. This does not taste sugar-free. It tastes great. But yes, I think my mother is game to read some jokes on my channel, and that would be wonderful. You guys want to see it? I want to see it. I want to have. I snuck a whole bunch of pictures of her, which I did a photo dump on Facebook um, sometime today. Then I fell asleep at an inappropriate time, and I missed my Saturday night. I was going to do a Saturday night filming of some kind. I wasn't sure. Sometimes when I have a scheduled filming, I know ahead of time what the subject matter is going to be, but not always. Sometimes my life has to be the subject matter for, and actually those are the more interesting videos when I let my life inspire a video, because all these crazy things happen. I take you on a little wild goose chase, and all the drama, which frankly I don't want to stress out people on Facebook, or if I gave them everything it would make it look like I was insane, which it's not my fault this shit happens. All you could do is roll with it or work around it, or deal with it some way. And yeah, truth is stranger than fiction. This kind of proves it. So my mother enjoyed the joke book, and so I was able to, when she was laughing, get these pictures with her, right? And she understands that even though it's not nice to violate people, like I don't want her taking pictures of me without makeup. It's a fair thing. If I didn't get the pictures, I wouldn't have. There used to be days when, before she went off to work, she and I would stand, we'd dress up, we'd both have makeup on and whatever, and we would stand in front of the Christmas tree, and we would have Christmas pictures. We would have official Christmas pictures, me and her and the cats. I would dress the cats up. I saved dresses, which I finally cut up. I had a little pink Hello Kitty dress that I had for Tabby Boy. Was a little bit more agreeable than Cassie was as far as getting dressed up. And Ace, he wasn't too happy about putting clothes on. But just for a Christmas video or a picture, you put him in a dress, right? So I had this Hello Kitty dress, and they never, needless to say, got to wear it because they're gone. And I'm thinking, I'm holding on to it. It's been a while, and I'm holding on to it. I'm holding on to it. What the heck am I going to do with it? And I finally realized one thing I can do. First of all, I cut the skirt off, and I cut some notches in it so that I could not only put it over my head, but maybe I could layer it over other poofy crinolines and stuff. But no, it was too small, so okay, I couldn't do that. But I cut off the. It is okay. The construction of the top of it looks like a tank top. It goes up like this, and it goes down like this. And so I cut off just the front. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew that on top of an existing tank top so that it will have the Hello Kitty thing because this isn't just any old Hello Kitty. It's a Hello Kitty playing a guitar. All right. If I didn't get a chance to let my cats wear it, well, at least I'll have the graphic and I'll sew it onto a shirt and I'll keep it because I like Hello Kitty. And I can't help it. It's so much of the stuff that I like is for kids or whatever. If it doesn't fit me, I'll cut it off. I'll sew it onto something. So whatever. I still get used to things. I love to rework fashion. I find a bathing suit and I can't use it as is, but I can turn it into something else. And there's people that have real skills that they can turn sneakers into bustiers, and you can turn t-shirts that are big into smaller things. They have special videos that you can watch that really, really, there's some people that really have some skills. I know how to use scissors and I know how to use a needle and thread. So, uh, oh, one other thing I want to mention. So sometimes I get lazy. I'm thinking I'm hungry and I don't want to cook. And what the heck am I going to eat? And sometimes with the rice, it's not always 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. If you do that, the white rice may be waterlogged and it might end up being like wallpaper paste. It's like, oh, if it's too, no, I'm not going to eat that. Life is too short to eat bad food. So you want to have the water amount the right way. And I always use rice steamers because I love them. That way you don't have to worry about falling asleep with something on the stove. You get high, you're watching something on TV or on the internet, whatever. Rice steamers, whoever invented them, they're just the best. I discovered them when I lived in Los Angeles, and I love rice steamers. So I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to eat? Then nothing appealed to me. We have all these chickpeas. I made hummus. That's another reason why I screwed up and didn't do the Saturday video. Okay, you eat and you get horizontal, and you're falling asleep. Well, I opened up 3 cans of chickpeas and I boiled them because you got to soften them before you can mash them up. And I didn't have any more olive oil. I had olive oil and I was using it very sparingly, so it ended up getting rancid. And once it's rancid, you don't want to use it. You don't even want to put it on your face. But olive oil that's safe to use. I love to use it on the face also because olive oil has these fatty acids that are good. It's a moisturizer, obviously, but it also has these fatty acids which help to break down the things that stick your dead skin cells together. It's they fight free radicals. It's full of antioxidants. It's good as a makeup remover. It's good as an oily moisturizer. It's got a lot of things good for it. But once it gets rancid, it's basically you don't want to hold on to it. You don't want to use it. I don't even know if you should use it as a hair moisturizer, even though you want to be real careful. A little oil goes a very long way. But another oil that's loaded with fatty acids, also I love to use with skincare, is coconut oil. Oh, especially if you get the unrefined kind that still smells coconutty. That is so amazing. And you can get them at some dollar stores. There is, I think it's called something boy. It's a jar like this that, oh my God, it smells so good. I love coconut oil. A little goes a long way. Some people, they say it clogs their pores. Maybe if you're really, really, really young, maybe only use it as a makeup remover. And my skin's not dry. It's not as oily as it was when I was a teenager or something. I had oily skin for a long time. I even had a very brief time where I had a little bit of acne and stuff. And there's some Paula's Choice had something which knocked it out perfectly. And The Ordinary, I can't say enough about that skincare company, but I ordered very little from them this year because I found out that so many of the things I experimented with getting versions through Timu and only a very little bit from The Ordinary. I'll show you when that comes in the mail. I'll show you a little bit that I got. I mean, it got so little, I don't know that it would be worth making a video about, honestly, really. So, so the other thing which was really important that I wanted to talk about. So I ate the hummus. I gave my mom the rest. Oh, I want to show you a seasoning that I use for the hummus that I discovered when I used to shop at this Mexican grocery store that had this really fun music that has I guess some of it has mariachi music. Some of it is, it has all these horns and and it just sounds very happy, happy music, waltzes and stuff. Well, there's this spice. I want to show you. I guess the coffee's ready, but I have to dunk it. This, have you ever used this? It's got chili in it and it's got lime in it, and it's sour and it's salty and it's kind of spicy, but it's not really. It's very so slightly spicy. You can get kind of liberal on it, and it's mostly sour. And this, I threw some of this in my hummus instead of the lime or lemon that you would squeeze in there. And oh, and instead of having the olive oil, this is the coconut oil I use. Now, this is Nature's Way brand, and it says it's great for cooking. And now, some of these, though, are so refined that they don't smell like coconut. I'm going to smell this. See, this is so refined. This has no smell at all. But it says, now, see what I told you about fatty acids? It says 93% MCTS. It says 13 grams medium chain triglycerides per serving. And it says see nutritional facts for total fat and saturated content. Okay, this is 10 fluid ounces pure oil. This, oh, I want to show you an absolutely delicious oil. I don't know why I'm talking about this stuff, but one of the things I like to do with my channel is show you what I think is cool. So this oil, oh, let me show you this oil. This I give credit to my friend Tiger turning me on to this. She lives near our president, our sleepy Joe Biden. She lives near him in Delaware, and she brought me some of this oil. This tastes so good. This is a drizzling oil. This is sunflower oil from a company, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, La Tourangelle, artisan made, organic toasted sunflower oil. It's in the toasting. When you toast nuts, you bring a flavor out. And it says drizzle, saute, toasted nutty flavor. You could steam some rice, do a perfectly steamed rice, salt and pepper to taste, not too much pepper though. Drizzle, get a teaspoon out. Oh, I wish you could smell this. This smells toasted, this smells nutty. You take this is 8.45 fluid ounces. It's in a metal container. Drizzle this on your rice. If you like buttered rice with a little bit of salt and pepper, drizzle this on your rice. Trust me, a little bit of salt, this is elevated. If you know the difference between tuna and oil versus tuna and water, and if you agree with me that tuna and oil just has more flavor in it, oil is a flavor carrier. Oil and lemon and salt and pepper on tuna over rice is heavenly. Well, you take plain rice, and you know how certain rices have a nutty taste and flavor, even if you don't flavor them, like a jasmine rice, a good basmati rice. I love good rices. Well, you take an oil like this organic toasted sunflower oil, you drizzle that on something, this flavor, I am telling you. And plus, you get the health benefits of the triglycerides and stuff. And there's a whole explanation of the health benefits on the label, because here in America, you have to have nutritional information on the label. And a lot of times they have websites. If they do, go on the website. I love learning about my food. This is a gourmet oil, and it's really great living in a world where you don't need to be a higher ups to have access on occasion to really wonderful food. That, oh, this, Cook some ramen noodles and drizzle with a little, just a teaspoon on top. There's the uses. OMG. This, I imagine, would be good if you slice some avocado, put it on there. Oh, but yes, this is a wonderful oil. Oh, yes. So I got another thing I want to talk to you about. Uh, this month there seems to have been a theme of finding out who is with me and who's against me. So much of us as people, we learn who's loyal, who has our back, and who isn't. And sometimes relationships, they have a life cycle, and you have to let people go when they've shown you that they want to go on with their lives. And okay, good life, see you. I had been carrying around some resentments and some sadnesses because of how certain people in my Atlantic City world have been treating me. And there are people that I see on the boardwalk, people that are in my world. And I tolerated certain kinds of behavior from people that I should never have tolerated under the guise of, oh, boys will be boys, or I've known this one since I was 15 years old, or this guy knew my father. I've known this guy since I worked at convention hall security, and this and that. And I'm thinking, and these are people who they're drinking, and they will tell you what good friends they are. And you got to think about, is it just me? But when I think of the people who I know are my good friends, they have never had to tell me that they were my good friends. They just were, but their actions proved it. People, the loyalty of the people who always show up, that they're there, just even if all you need is a hug and somebody to listen, who just show up when I'm sad and I see them and I'm lighter. And it's like, wow. And like some of my friends that are homeless, they have that effect on me that I'm just bumming out because I'm stressing because I've got the weight of the world on my shoulders, and they just show up and all of a sudden, yeah, what are you doing? I'll say, Leather, get your coat and come out onto the boardwalk. And then I'll do that. And I'll be so glad I did, because all I needed was to be around people. And I don't mean people in front of a screen. Screens are great. Screens are wonderful. Screens enable me to contact people all over the world and make lots of friends and have a voice. But that said, there's something to be said for human interaction. And I'm so glad for the people that there that make it happen, that, the real community. That's great. And there are people that are there for me, and I'm so grateful for them. And one of the people I'm thinking of is a girl whose birthday was Friday when it started raining, and I didn't find her, and I wanted to hang out with her and stuff. And, sorry I missed her birthday. But on the same token, I'm also finding out that there are some people who really are improving themselves so much. Look, how much of my behavior are you going to tolerate before you finally put your foot down? And then not only avoid a person when you see them, say they're a pest and they're on the boardwalk and they're rude. You can, just avoid them, and just, I see them, I keep on going, whatever, right? But there's a difference between doing that and actually having a confrontation with them where they know under no uncertain terms that you are not interacting with anymore. You are having nothing more to do with them anymore. You are finally seeing them for how they are and have chosen to love yourself enough to not put up with their bullshit anymore. And this is where I'm at now. And I'm pretty good at setting boundaries. I think I am, to the point where some people who don't know me well are intimidated by that, because, first of all, strong women make some people uncomfortable. And if you are a manipulator of any gender and you see somebody who's assertive, who looks like they will not suffer fools lightly, then maybe you will steer clear of that person, because you're thinking, oh, well, first of all, you're useless to me because I can't take advantage of you. You would see through my bullshit, so I will stay away from you. But other people, maybe they would be attracted to a person, but they're just afraid of them because they're thinking, well, you might smack me if I look at you funny, or if I smile at you, because you might think I'm looking at you funny. So, and I am intimidated too. There's a lot of people I don't talk to just because, everybody thinks everybody is out of everybody's leagues. And I'm thinking, you're not possibly going to give me the time of day, because I'm sure you've got a partner and I'm sure you like normal or whatever. And so everybody is afraid of talking to everybody. So when people finally do have courage, and that's not always a good thing, though, because you can have courage, but you can basically be an unapathetic asshole. And there are a lot of people who, frankly, I wish they didn't have courage. Every now and then somebody gets it right. And, you want to give people a chance to at least be, I'm a human, you know, and be kind and assuming you can have a good sixth sense and you know who's good and who's not. But there are some people who I have been forced to really put my foot down and say, look, I'm not going to tolerate certain behavior anymore. And one of it was somebody who I've known since I was 14 years old. Used to talk to me when I worked at convention hall with my father. And oh, now my battery saver thing's going on. I don't want to lose power here. Well, I think I'm going to have to move this in. Okay. I'm going to plug this in. Okay. Plugged in. Okay. All right. So anyway, this guy, he gets really drunk. And well, actually, I made a video about him before. He has no problem with putting his hand on women. He doesn't seem to realize it's an inappropriate thing. He just sees it as he's a boor, Boor. He's guilty of boorish behavior. He's really very disrespectful without deliberately trying to be mean, but he's just seems to evoke a very hyper masculine. And I know that sounds like I'm dissing men, and I don't mean to, but he just seems to use his masculinity as an excuse to be really inappropriate. And I would like to think he doesn't realize just how offensive he is. But I have had to just be really, really, really assertive and put my foot down with people. And now I totally ignore him because he's the kind of person that, okay, my biggest issue with him, it's not just that he is rude. Okay, because lots of people can be rude. I just snapped your leg off once, by the way. But oh, okay, I'm sure I can pick them back. He I confronted him about he's somebody that he likes to brag about all the weed he has, right? And haven't you been raised that you don't eat in front of people unless you're sharing a meal with them? You don't brag about things. And what does he do? But he shows weed and he puts it back in his pocket. He says, "Oh, I have weed." Or he see me out playing guitar, and when I'm out with my guitar, I'm trying to make a buck. And so you're going to be what? Interrupting, taking away from my time when I'm out there. And if I step away from my guitar to smoke weed with you, then you're taking away from time when maybe somebody would have walked past me that would have wanted to hear some music and maybe would have wanted to be generous because he or she would have wanted to see some local uh, personality or whatever it is that a person's motivation is for giving to a street musician, since everybody's motivation is different. Just like when you are a stage dancer, everybody's motivation for going to these places is different. And so you can't assume why a person's there. You can't assume that uh, they're good or they're bad, but there's more benign than not, honestly. I'm trying to find a place to put this safely where it's not going to do any damage to the musical instruments that shouldn't be balanced like this, but they are. Um, well, there it is. Okay, so anyway, I told him off. And now when I see him, and he's a hard person to ignore, but I told him off. One time I was getting ready to, I had my computer open. I was on the boardwalk. I was going through pictures, or I was trying to get a signal so that I could catch do a check in at one of the places on the boardwalk so that I can do a bunch of photo dumps on social media. Okay. And when I'm holding my computer and I'm holding it over a railing and I'm gripping it very strongly because the last thing I want to do is drop my computer and you're trying to get my attention. Leather, Leather, I have weed. Leather, I have weed. I'm holding this computer. I'm typing. I'm ignoring everybody because I am focusing on not dropping my computer. And plus, I've realized that I'm outside and you never know. Do you hear that? Dude, we got squirrels up here. I would hope that they don't like open crash through and you get all kinds of dust and dirt and debris and stuff. It better not happen over my bed. That would really suck. Or I hope it doesn't happen in my mother's room because she is afraid of mice. I don't want my mom having a heart attack over this. Which, by the way, I'm still pissed off that the damn pest control has rescheduled their appointment time for a day when my mom's not going to be here because she's going to be having tests run in. I'm worried about her. Oh, and that damn medical now she's canceling her dentist sir not her dental insurance because they want to double her copay and have her benefit. She could have gotten $2,000 benefit. It's only $1,000. Oh, and then she found out something else. The services that her dental insurance part does cover are covered by something else that was a bill she didn't have to pay. See, these agencies, these companies, these whatever, whether they are health insurance or whatever, they fail to realize that when they have increases, either when they increase people's fees or they decrease the benefits that the people have come to expect, no, you can't just necessarily make up the money someplace else. Sometimes you're forced to make very difficult decisions. If, say, the landlord makes a rent increase and it's beyond the cost of living, the increase that the rent control, if you have it, is allowed. Say you have no choice but to pay that, and say other things get increases that you have no choice of. The gas goes up, you can't negotiate that. Different things go up. There's not a damn thing you can do about it. Some things, yes, you can negotiate, but if you have things that are going up, like storage, for instance, that goes up, you can't negotiate, especially if they buy out to a big chain. So what do you have to do? You have to find a way to make these expenses. That's just the way it is. And so all these companies just unconscionably adding fees to this, increases to that. That's why I'm so glad Temu has free shipping. Yeah. But let's get back to other people that sometimes you have to kick to the curb. I've told you about a certain person who plays guitar out here and who has proven himself to be a not nice person. He has proven himself he thinks he's better than other people. When he plays for tourists here on the street, he claims ownership of songs that he did not write. He gets drunk. As soon as a liquor store is open, he has to have a drink for his shakes. Gets drunk. Then he gets so mean about other people. He gives other people pet names of insults. He calls people turds. He calls people seagulls, all referring to he's better than them. He's a rock star. He tells everybody he's a rock star. And then when I see on YouTube some people who filmed this guy playing guitar, and the thing is, if he was not a mean person, it wouldn't bother me any because everybody should be celebrated and promoted if they have something of interest. Sure. You know how much footage in this laptop I have with this guy, with the jam sessions that he and I participate in, but there's no way I'm going to put him on my channel because of the way he treats other people. One of my friends who died a couple months ago, he would call this guy a turd. A turd is a piece of manure, if you didn't know. And this guy would finally get to the guy where he would occasionally say, I don't like being called a turd. A turd's a piece of shit, man. And and he's saying this to this guy who was hanging out with him, who's a faithful friend of his. And yes, a drinking buddy of his, and we all smoke weed together and stuff. And I remember as soon as I got this guitar and I started playing on the boardwalk. I was first at the Hard Rock and then at Ocean. And we're all us musicians, we're all in this together, right? But sometimes it's like we're adversarial now because, oh, this one's competition because we're out trying to make a buck, you know? And so as soon as I got that acoustic guitar, then I was his competition. And I don't have time to waste around people that just want to get fucked up all the time. I don't have time for that, right? I don't have time for it. And he has to be mean to people all the time. I don't have time for that. And just being always calling people names and acting like he's better than other people. I couldn't deal with it anymore. And I started avoiding him. I realized that there are times when I would not go out for a whole week at a time because I would hate this. My stomach would be in knots. I would hate how he made me feel. And how can one person who's not even a lover make a person feel that bad about themselves and just being around them? They're just so mean. And that's how he is with people. He is so mean. And not just to me, but to so many people on the board, going up and down the boardwalk, coming up to people. Do you want to hear a song? And being self-righteous all the time. And when I would tell him about, my police problem, he said, "Oh, it's because you have your hat out there. The hat means they're telling the world that you're making money." And whenever I didn't have hats on, then people would say, "Oh, I walked by you because I didn't know that you were doing it for money." It's like, why does anybody have a musical instrument out there? It's not for our help. It's not. I'm not auditioning for some famous band with my 10-chord special. I think you want somebody who has a little bit more skills than me for your project, okay? But he's just so too mean. And then when I would go on YouTube and I would find some people of mine who also have channels, and they would have some of him playing songs, not just once, but like 3 different times. I'm thinking, why are you promoting this asshole? And when I am stressed out by even seeing his face, and I go turn on YouTube and I want to support my friends and watch their content, and I'm seeing this jerk that I'm trying to avoid, I said, no. But you know how you can be upset with somebody and they don't always know how you feel? Well, I finally decided that, you know what, I'm not going to, I've had it. And I'm going to not be two-faced about it. If I happen to run into them, I'm going to just tell them to fuck off. And the thing is, usually when you confront people, they're drunk and they don't even remember it. So it doesn't do any good anyway. Even if you say, look, you did a certain thing, which everybody denies. Whenever you say, you were mean, you said this. Oh, no, I did. You did this. Oh, no, I didn't. It was somebody else. No, I'm not that blind. No. Um, so I had words on the boardwalk like 2 weeks ago. It was a couple of days after my birthday because that was another thing. During my birthday, I sure as hell did not want to run into him. I did not want to run into anybody that made me feel bad about myself. I didn't want to run into anybody that pissed me off. I did not want to deal with anything stressful other than the things that were absolutely unavoidable. Like neighbor stuff you can't deal with. If they're going to sublet to a noisy church downstairs, you can't do anything. There's certain things, okay, you can't deal with anything about. But other than that, I can choose not to be where my asshole friends are going to be if they're out of control. I can choose not to put myself in negative things. I can choose to also try to seek out joy, which is what I did. So, anyway, fast forward to I ran into him and we had words on the boardwalk, and he didn't seem to register. And I wanted to hang out with my friend Franco Bongiorno, who you've seen in my videos recently, and they were up near resorts. It was a couple of days after the fire, as a matter of fact. But that guy that I'm mad at was there, and I told him why I was mad at him. I said, you know what, I'm not going to be around here. And I walked back down this way because I wasn't going to be in that environment. So I'm mad at you, and you're an asshole, and you're an unrepentant asshole. That's the clue. We can all be assholes sometimes, but there are some people that keep on doing it and they don't care, and they keep on doing it, and they're kind of like, fuck you. And if you're going to be like that, okay, I don't need to be around that. So I walked away. Well, fast forward to about 7 o'clock tonight. Okay. Doorbell rings. I'm all, dressed. I wasn't wearing this, but I was dressed, made up, whatever. Went downstairs, opened the door. Who was it? The man I'm mad at that plays guitar. He had his guitar with him. And this is it. If you know I'm mad at you, if we've had words, if I've told you to go fuck yourself, if I've yelled at you, if I've said I'm mad at you because this, you did. And these things you do repeatedly. There is no room for ambiguity here. I have communicated in the Queen's English, and you speak the said Queen's English. I said, I'm mad at you because you're an asshole. There should be no doubt. Imagine my surprise when I opened the door, and that is him downstairs talking to me. I guess he wanted me to let him in, and he probably had weed or whatever. I didn't give him a chance to explain. I said, you expect to ring my doorbell and for me to forget that you call L25 a turd repeatedly, that you go up and down the boardwalk telling everybody what a rock star you are, that you go all the time calling people seagulls and accusing them of mooching off of you when all you do is get drunk and you're basically a beggar that happens to play guitar. That's what he is. Yes, he's a good player, and yes, he has a nice voice, and yes, he plays harmonica and stuff. But his style is get drunk first, come up to people. Do you want to hear a song? Plays his singing songs that he did not write. Gives himself credit for. Everybody believes him. People film him. You know how many times his version of White Trash Lady can be found on YouTube? I fell for it too. I filmed 4 different versions of him singing it, but he was too drunk to get a good non-mumble version of it. And I'm so glad I didn't post it to my YouTube channel, because I would have given him credit for this really neat original song that my new friend did. And no, I'm so glad that I didn't, because when I found out that it was not his song, and he was telling people that it was his song. See, you can go and do Stairway to Heaven. Everybody knows you're not Led Zeppelin. But you take an obscure song by some band that most people, unless you're real strong, versed in country music, would know. If I had done the search on YouTube and found the original thing and I was playing the original song, everybody said, this is the song, this is the band that did it. And yeah, he lies to people. So he came by and I said, no, you got some kind of nerve. You are not a nice person. You made me feel bad about myself. You beat me to everybody around you. He comes into town and he was fun for a while. He was fun to smoke weed with. And yes, I'll admit, I let him put strings on my guitar. There were times when I was down to 3 strings on this acoustic guitar. And that's one thing. If you are going to be mean to me, and you're going to make me suffer in some way, yes, I will. If I'm going to suffer anyways, like with the church downstairs, they're going to do things and we can't do anything about it because they're big and we're little, right? And they got connections and this and that, whatever, Gene and Joe, who knows. If they're going to make me suffer, well, when they're handing out free coffee when it's over and they're asking me if I want some, I'm not going to say no, because if you're going to make me suffer, then I'm going to get what I can in recompense. So that's why I put up with all this ghetto bullshit. And if they drop their roaches around, I'm going to get high. If they're going to make me suffer downstairs, I'm going to drink their coffee. If you're going to be a drunken asshole and you're going to be mean to me and stuff, and I know that you can string good guitar, then yes, I'll let you string my guitar. Because I'm going to suffer anyway. Well, damn it, I'm going to get mine. And that's how I view it. And so that's how a person can justify using somebody when it's a harmful situation. Okay, if you're in an abusive situation, you're getting a roof, but you're being, you get things, you get some comfort out of it. And I'm not going to elaborate. Again, I'm remembering that this is a live stream. But yeah. Oh, I wanted to show you another spice that I discovered, and this is local. I discovered this. I don't know where they sell this. It may have been in one of the African grocery stores. I've never been in there. I think it's on Tennessee Avenue, but sells all kinds of stuff from Africa. And Africa is not one country, it's a continent. And I don't know much about the different cuisines that are there, but the great thing about immigration is you get to learn about all the cooking stuff. And anyway, this is Jamaican style mild curry powder. And I have curry powder that I thought was from India or whatever. But anyway, this has different ingredients and it actually claims it has salt. Usually curry powder doesn't have salt. But anyway, I love my spices and stuff. So, but I just unrolled that roach and I'm going to look for the bowl. And I've got a bowl here. And I want to get some. Oh, okay. Got this. I want to get some more of these. Hold on. Oh, there's something else I can do while I'm here. This, I gotta dunk the coffee. Yep. Yeah. Look, I always dunk my coffee. You knew that, right? I have to get, first of all, I gotta get this, how I make my coffee. This has a big coffee bag in it from the hotel coffee maker. Now, these are supposed to make 4 cups. That's what it says. And the coffee brand I'm using, it's called Royal Cup. Royal Cup coffee. They call it rainforest coffee. And they claim that the farmers are paid a living wage and they respect the rainforest and all that good stuff. Now, this is what I do. I take, this isn't just for me. I dunk this. Now, I like to make it a little bit smaller so I can dunk it easier. So let me, I want you to actually see what I'm doing. And I'm thinking, how do I, let me, I'm going to try to make sure that you can actually see what I'm doing. You see, you see, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Okay, see me? I'm going to make this smaller so that I don't get drippage on the sides of the carafe. Okay, now, oops, I don't want to pull the cord, and then next thing you know, the computer will crash and break. We don't want that. Okay, see what I'm doing here? And dunk this. Just like Dr. Oz always said, dunk tea 100 times. Well, do this 100 times to get all the tea into here. I mean, all the coffee, excuse me. And this is a 10 cup pot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to get the guitars back. 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Wait. 100. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is how I make my coffee. Now, I'm going to pour in my cup, which, have you seen these cups? Well, this is the only one that's left. I had one for me and one for my mom. That was given to me by my late great friend Jim Grawn, who unfortunately he died of COVID. He refused the vaccine. He got COVID in Illinois. He was just 61 years old. He was a biker and he's gone. And he was a good guy. And he would sometimes send us cat food, coffee, and chocolate. and coffee mugs. Like he sent me a care package from Black Rifle Coffee Company. That's good coffee, by the way. They sell them out of he was a hunter, or I don't know if he was a hunter, but he was a Second Amendment guy, and he would go to this store called Shields or Skeels. It was like I guess it was kind of like a Bass Pro Shop kind of place, but sells pro American stuff and camping gear and all kinds of stuff. I've never been in the shop, so I really can't say, but they sold Black Rifle Coffee Company. And so, anyway, that's really great coffee. But let me put this back on the burner. Now it's time. Oh, what that I was talking about coffee containers before. This is the container I meant. Now, I want to let you know something. It is 9:24 p.m. a.m. And you might start to hear some church music pretty soon because there is a church underneath me and it is a Sunday morning. So just be aware. If it gets hard to hear me, you'll let me know. Okay. So, so yeah, that guy showed up and I slammed the door in his face. So, uh, I'm not always able to tell people how I feel about them. Sometimes it's just not safe to do so. But especially if you think somebody has connections with really, really bad people or whatever, then, some people I actually smile at just to be nice. But I don't kid myself that whether or not they're nice people. Uh, yeah. But I want to sweeten my coffee. And did you guys see this? The last time I was at the dollar store, I got a lanyard that has hot leaves on it. And it was cute, and I had to have it. My Timu ordered arrived because I'm looking forward to. You know what I want to get some more of? I want to get some more uh pot leaf stockings. I have the green ones, and I have these black ones with the blue leaves on them. I have socks that are brown pot leaf ones, but I don't even know exactly where they are because a lot of my clothes, I put it away and they're in the back room or the front room rather, and they're in plastic. It's in plastic, and some things I've hidden on myself. And then when there's a certain event, I can't find certain things. Like for instance, Christmas clothes, I can't find, except for like party dresses and stuff. Actual dresses, they are, unless they're able to be rolled up. I have them hanging in a garment bag that just have a whole shitload of dresses, and they're in the front room. Okay. But the things of mine that don't need to be hung that I can roll, those can be any of a number of places. So, uh, but I just found a Christmas T-shirt the other day. So yeah, it's hella large. It looks like my mom could wear it. But I like that it has a bunch of colors in it, and I could always use one of those shirt tie things to nip it in. Yeah. These are my Christmas decorations. Woo. Uh, how do you feel about drinking some coffee with me and smoking some weed? Okay, I'm looking for sugar. Okay. Oh, I didn't show you the books I got when they were dropping off bags of clothes and stuff. They had some books. Anybody remember a teenager's author called S.E. Hinton? I read this when I was a kid. I'm going to read it again. I think it would be fun. It's a coming of age story. I know I've read it before. And this is a very, very, very dog-eared. Uh, you guys didn't know. Talks about this. Let's see. It tells what the year is. Uh, 1967. Dude, that's been around a while. So that's going to be a fun read and should be a quick read too. This book here, this has a whole bunch of short stories, chicken soup, anything chicken soup, but there's, good short stories. But I read some, not everything applies to this, especially if you didn't meet a lot of the milestones. There's a lot of stuff pertaining to motherhood and different stuff, but this thing here is a bunch of love advice. This should be a fun read, especially if it veers a little bit into cosmopolitan direction. But oh, I learned something new about aloe. I want to share with you. Once I sweeten my coffee, I would always scrape aloe. I would cut a tiny little piece off, and I would use my fingernail, and I would cut a little piece, and I would I'll try to mash it up and put it on the affected area. Well, I discovered that's not how you do aloe. Did you know that you can risk getting a latex allergy if you don't take the spines off of there and you don't let there's a latex like substance, you should let that leach off first. Then you take the gel, and then you're actually supposed to put it in a food processor or a blender and whip it up and get it to that gel consistency. So it's a bunch of stuff you have to do. It's not just a matter of taking a leaf. For years I would take a leaf and I would just scrape, and that's what I did. But I also would get the green gel at the dollar store. You can get either the kind with alcohol, which could sting when you put it on your skin, or the kind without alcohol. And some people would refrigerate it because unless it has a bunch of preservatives, aloe vera juice is a perishable thing. But that said, if your refrigerator is scuzzy, you don't want to put your skincare in your refrigerator. My refrigerator really looks like it needs to be disposed of by hazmat, preferably with things that make loud noises, because it's disgusting. But yeah, you have to be careful how you use your aloe. So I'm thinking I may just go to Dollar Tree or whatever. Actually, I think the 99-cent stores, instead of spending $1.25, I can get a bottle of that aloe. That'll last me a year or two. And that way you can do it for anything that you use aloe vera for. You know. So I didn't know that until I did searches about stuff about dealing with skin rashes and different things. There, I saw that article about aloe. Well, I said, why don't I learn about that since I have the plant right here? Oh, another thing, by the way, did you know if you're trying to store as many ramen noodle packages as possible, if you crush them up first, there's more room to store more. Normally, the bricks, you can only store so many, but yeah, crush up your ramen first. Just be careful when you're crushing it so that you don't spill them all over. That's no fun. Oh, I noticed something. There's certain things that mice don't seem to go for. And onion seems to be one, but they love potatoes, sweet potatoes, beets. But onions, they don't seem attracted to. We have a bin just for onions, and they don't want that. Now, depending on how strong this coffee is, it might need more sweetening. It's too sweet. I'm going to add some sugar to that. Oh, I wanted to mention something. Last year, no, it was before Dollar Tree became $1.25 tree. I got this bottle of facial mist. It's a rose water and green tea. Now this is just plain water at this point, but this is a great little sprayer bottle. This, and I'll show you another spray bottle. This, when this gets empty, I'm going to save this. This will be really great to use, I think, to apply the better quality rose waters and things. Spraying them seems to me that would be a more efficient way than just using cotton balls where you would actually have the wastage, you know? So, and this is also something that I got at the dollar store. This is witch hazel solution. I remember I used to get for a bigger bottle than this for like 69 cents, and it had that real witch hazel smell. Let me see if I get that smell. Not really, it's so much more faint. I like the things that are more close to the real product. You know, witch hazel is a real thing. Oh, I'm gonna see how good this coffee is. And then I think it might be time to smoke some weed. Might hear some speech downstairs because there's people hanging out. Well, I guess it's too late to meet some people on the boardwalk. There's somebody that hands out coffee and sandwiches and things, and I usually go there just to talk to people and stuff, but I'm talking to you instead. This is more fun anyway, you know. Mm, doing. Oh, I think I just remember I forgot to tape Good Morning America, where the Golden Bachelor was doing an interview. No, I taped it. I didn't watch it. I have to usually when I tape things, I want to watch them as soon as possible because since I don't live alone, sometimes people use up, you only have so much space. And the other person I live with, for some reason, he has things set up to automatically record, like the Three Stooges and South Park. And I love comedies as much as the next person, but when you have things, plus some of the local news, well, not really local, but Philadelphia news things, you're having the 10 o'clock and the 11 o'clock p.m. news and the 6 p.m. news automatically recorded so you can watch them wherever. And if you're only allotted so much free recording space with the tier plan that we have, with our cable, then you use up stuff right away. And I look and see if I know that he recently watched something, then I go ahead and delete it because I figure he already watched it, even though I know people like to have uh uh, collections of things that they can rewatch and stuff, binge watching and stuff. But oh, did any of you catch on Fox News Channel on Hannity? He had DeSantis versus the guy from California, and that was, you know what? I kind of got distracted because I was also doing some cooking. I was making my hummus, and I'm going to have to rewatch it. I missed half of it. Trying to think. You know what? It's affecting my short-term memory. Can't remember half these guys' names. I gotta say something. I don't like Nikki Haley. She does remind me a little bit of Hillary. I should be careful what I say. I don't want YouTube messing with me. Um, but yes, I think it was Dracula. You said that I should really be uploading to other platforms, and I agree with you. Dracula did. He edited down a shorts version of my latest at Temu Hall. And so I'm going to be uploading my first short thanks to his editing. So thank you for that. I've got a really great bunch of friends, viewers, buddies. I appreciate it. As long as you're not here to be mean and make anybody's lives miserable, we're cool. Just appreciate people not fighting amongst each other. I appreciate people not being mean to me. And I think it's great to share information. And yeah. Uh that roach actually usually I made a mistake one time. I unwrapped a roach and I put it in a toaster oven and left it in a little too long, a little too hot, and I only had half of it left. God got the other half. And sometimes I put it on paper bag and put it on radiator and let that dry. But you gotta be patient. Sometimes I'm kind of a little impatient because something resonated weed just has that real kick, because it's concentrated. And even if you have to put up with some tobacco taste, a lot of times, if it's these good roaches that the guys are selling the weed on the corner, the stuff that they're smoking their own head, the really good stuff, this is really good weed with high THC. Uh, 3 different times I was handed weed in the past 2 days. I appreciate that. Matter of fact, one poor guy, I feel bad with him. He's standing right in front of my door. I opened the door and I booped him in the ass. I mean, you shouldn't be blocking people's exits anyway. Really. I mean, you're stronger than me. If you have a heavy dirt bike, and if he gets my door, and I'm not knowing there's anything on the outside of it. Oh. I have something specifically to spit on. I'm not being a dirt ball. Even though my cat got sick on this carpet so many times, I gotta pick it up before the next person moves in anyway. Excuse me. My mom would say, whenever I burp, she'd say, bring it up again. We'll vote on it. Oh, I went to check my garden. I go back there a lot because, there's still some hardy herbs that you can harvest. There's still thyme out there. There's sage out there. There is mint, 2 different kinds of mint. There is rosemary still out there. But you never know that my butternut squash plant that looked like a big misshapen octopus that was over my cat's grave, you never know it was there now. The plants, well, they shriveled up and they were pulled up, I'm sure, by the guys that mow the lawn and stuff. But hey, I'm glad for what I got out of there. Uh, by the way, whoops, don't fall. No, that was a fan. I still have the squash, and there's parsley here. It's dry now. I'm glad the mice haven't found this. I'm having to get really creative to hide things from our mice, by the way. Uh, oh, I want to show you something beautiful, neither here nor there, but this is a purse, but it's made of paper though, so I can't carry it in the rain. Ooh, I'm glad I saw this. You know what this is? This is a coupon for Snapple. I want to get is up to it says 1 32-ounce or 64-ounce bottle of any variety Snapple tea or juice drink, regular or zero sugar free, up to $3.29. And I want to go to Save a Lot where the prices are lower, and I want to get a half gallon of the peach iced tea. That's my favorite. I got to this, and I think there's one other coupon. Anyway, this is so that I would not let it expire and not use it. Excuse me. Wow, that's a weed belch. Anyway, wow, boy, I'm so glad I looked at that because I was thinking, I wondered where that coupon was since it's already December. I can't believe it's already December. Oh, I hope I'm not spilling this weed. Shit. Just type multitasking. Uh, I wanted to show you these letters I'm going to do something with. Oh, I would like some input by anybody who's watching. I need to get business cards. Okay. I need business cards. You need people all the time asking me outside, I want to talk about my channel, or they ask me a question or something. And it's so easier. It would be so much easier to just hand somebody a card. It looks so much more professional. And what for years I have balked at, what information do I put on there? Because each person might get different information from me. Some people I might actually give my phone number, and some people I may actually give them a physical address. Obviously, I'm not going to give that to everybody. Now, I have a good friend that lives in Washington, D.C. He's an artist. He has his home address and his phone number on there, but he's a bachelor. I don't think people are going to break into his apartment, but still, you never know. Crazies can happen at any time. But I want business cards, and I'm going to tell you one of the things I want on my card. I want this on my card. Doesn't have to have my face on there, but I do want the Walk of Fame star with my name on it. And I would like the color just because, the to make it evoke Hollywood. I think this is so much a part of it's part of my channel art, obviously. It's part of my set. It's a part of my history as a Hollywood person who has been an actor in both the little screen and the big screen. Uh, so this is somebody who could, in theory, get my own star for real sometime. I don't want to get this kind of. So I want this on my business cards, but I have to think about what other information, and I would like to have an email address, but the thing is, right now I'm down to 2 email addresses because until I get a cell phone, I can't seem to be allowed to create any other email addresses. And I just think that really it freaking sucks. Because right now, you know how many email addresses I'm reluctant to get on because I can't handle the extra spam. Because I can't keep a hold on my original Hotmail account. I am not, my computer says that it's not doing any more automatic uploading into my OneDrive of the pictures I take. The OneDrive automatic uploads are wonderful. I have so many pictures of my dead cats that I'm so glad I have that. I wish I had everything automatically uploaded that was in that tablet that I lost. There are so many pictures, footage of my dead cats that I don't have because I lost that tablet and not everything's in the cloud. They only give you first 5 gigabytes. Even Amazon Prime members don't get much more than that. And the thing is, I had 128 gigabyte chip in that tablet, and anything that wasn't already put on Facebook or YouTube is gone. And some of the things I put on YouTube took down. That's good coffee. That's, oh yeah, one of the things I'm going to that I reordered on Wish, not Wish, on the Ordinary, is vitamin C. I'm not going to open this jar, but this is a white powder. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to show any white powders on YouTube. I don't want to get the wrong idea. This is vitamin C powder. If you got vitamin C capsules and you question, you get that too. If you're in recovery, you might not want to do that because it feels really satisfying. Well, I should watch myself. But no, vitamin C powder, you can mix that in any moisturizer, put it on your face fresh. And vitamin C is an antioxidant. It also helps your sunblock to work better. It also helps to fade out discolorations if you have freckles, if you have age spots. Like you want to see age spots. I want to show you age spots. This, oh my God, that's terrible. All of this stuff. I try to keep myself out of the sun. I try everything to protect myself. Things like this we forget. They design clothes so that these parts of the body get exposed to the sun. The sun. My father got 8 skin cancers cut off of him before he died. My father was outside selling ice cream on the beach, selling buddy poppies, painting houses. He was out there living his life. Even if you wear a ball cap, you're still going to get sun in these places. I am so careful about that. But all the years of forgetting about that part that needed to be protected. Or maybe I'm worried about all my hair is going to get that sunscreen, get gunky and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be using more and more vitamin C. But the thing is sometimes it burns people's skin if you use too many acids, which I think is why this is taking so long to heal. But now listen, don't just because you don't see anything doesn't mean nothing's here. It's rough and it's caked on makeup. As much makeup as I can cake without it accentuating my wrinkles and everything, which is the one thing about makeup. It sucks. And all they have these powdered makeup companies, but all even the lightest shade is way too dark and too warm. Not everybody wants to look like they have a little bit of touch of sun on them. Some people are very, very pallid, and that's their natural skin, and they celebrate that. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's a Sunday morning, 9:51 a.m. Oh boy. So now I'm thinking, was I asking you guys advice for something wrong? Whatever it is I wanted your advice for, I'm thinking I may need to get a cell phone. And I know nothing about them except I want lots of storage room. I want a full terabyte, but I've heard too many bad things about Apple products and you can't fix them. And I would like to have the option of being able to store things in a cloud for safekeeping. And everybody loses their phones. Why don't they have a loop on them so they're automatically attached to you? That would be so interesting. Maybe not easy to store and stuff. But imagine if it had a loop like some handbags have, a loop like this. So, okay, when Comcast would cut out and 3 in the morning, and I'd be working on surveys, working from home, because I'm very high energy late at night a lot of times. And I would have to put makeup on if I didn't already have makeup on, and get dressed in street clothes and go to Bally's Wild Wild West Sports Book where I could use their Wi-Fi connection, and I'd be sitting and holding my Chromebook, sometimes little laptops or whatever, and you're holding it in your lap and everything. And sometimes you start to fall asleep a little and it starts to slide. Imagine if there was a loop so you could keep it attached to you. And I don't mean like a leash kind of thing, like camera strap, because those things you always worry about. Can they hold the weight? Just like guitar straps, the strap lock things, or you trust you have a guitar in a soft case that has a strap that you're walking with it on your back because it has a straps and it's designed like that and you trust it, right? And you're walking down the boardwalk and all of a sudden you hear that thud that nobody wants to hear. That is your guitar fell down onto the boardwalk, which thankfully is wood and not concrete, and not only can knock a guitar out of tune, but can really fuck things up. I'm glad this was before I actually got it set up. Oh, yeah. And I have one good strap, and that was a strap my tech gave me for my PB Raptor. Right now, I have the issue of I have to make sure that any kind of case can be kept clean so it doesn't get any kind of vermin in it. I just yeah, that's my worry because of the pest issue. I have to be careful the kind of things that I have, and I have to be careful that things are cleanable. And yeah, I'm worried about different things about my instruments, but I also realize that now is not the time to invest in setting up my other instruments. It's not time. Now is not the time to set up my violin, for instance. I would love to start playing this again. You know how many years it's been? I was second grade, third grade. It's so many years ago. And this is one instrument that nobody wants to hear a person when they're relearning. You know, guitars, you can hit the ground running. Once you know a few chords you learned as a kid, you can not and play for a while, and then all of a sudden, yeah, somebody hands you a guitar, you can hit the ground running. I got that guitar. I went to Hard Rock. I made $11 my first day out there with my guitar. Then I got 4 days there before security ran me off. You know, those yellow shirted security in the Hard Rock. Their word is like God. They tell you you're gone, you're gone. That's just the way it is. So I went to Ocean, but Ocean's just too windy up there. It's cold. It feels about 10, 15 degrees colder and stuff. And then when you have these aggressive panhandlers that come up to people and they got $1, and what they do is they don't even go down there where you are. They go up where the cabs drop people off at the entrance there, and they pick people off there. And then you've got these other panhandlers that where when I'm playing my guitar, I'm just standing and I'm playing. And you got these people that they walk down the boardwalk and maybe they'll stop near a casino and they'll pivot. So you have a dollar. Let's see. You have a dollar. You have a cigarette. And there I am. So people get picked off of their money before they even get to me. Oh, and then you got the chair pushers that, of course, they have to be seen to get their fares when people get out of the casino. So a lot of times they're out in the middle, so people can't even see you when they're going down the street. Or if you get the Creta guys that are dealing with taking the trash cans in, they'll have their trucks idling in a place so that you can't be seen. Oh, so yeah, that makes it challenging. And when you see how aggressive the panhandling is, and you hear people like that guy that I told you showed up, that I said, no, you're not coming in, that now he knows how I feel about him. And when he likes to be up there, that part of the boardwalk, there are so many people that are just all they're doing is panhandling. There are people that, okay, they don't talk to people, they sit there with a sign and they're sitting within a block or two of a Hard Rock and the resorts. And it's so sad. You see all these people, they're sitting there. And then you've got that saxophone player he's really loud. He's amplified. He's playing to a loudly amplified gospel and whatever track. And there's assorted people all in a really short amount of time, which I'm sure if you're there getting out of either of the casinos, you just overload this person, if you had $100, you could break it into fives and ones. Just, but forget being in a dance establishment. You could be on the boardwalk and give this person, that person, but whatever. But I don't like to go down in front of Tropicana because you've got the light and sound show there. That's loud, right? You've got the chair pushers that they have to beware fairness, because that's a lot of people don't tend to go further down beach than Tropicana for the most part. And depending, especially remember, this is the off season. People have to be where there's moments like you have money. Now, Bally's, it's very noisy and very brightly lit. I love the brightly litness of it, but when you're needing to be heard, or if you want to film, you don't want to be where those kiosks are with all the advertisement and stuff, or where anybody's blasting music. So that is a real challenge, finding the quiet. That's hard. That is so hard. And then if you're looking for, I really wish they would amp up the Wi-Fi signal so I can live stream up there. I miss being able to go from the casino hotel through the room, through the casino floor, right onto the boardwalk, go up and down the boardwalk and stuff, and that was so much fun. But okay, it's 9:59. It's almost 10 o'clock. Do you mind if I smoke some more weed? Because it's legal. Did I? Oh, I think this is interesting. Did you know that one of my pot videos was age restricted by YouTube? And it was ironically a video where I never ended up smoking the weed that we had because there was no lighter. And so it was basically a video about we're about to do this. First of all, we have to be in the right location. We want to do this, well, it has to be the right light. We're about to do this, but because I want to I know my videos are about as imperfect as they get, but I want them to be as perfect as possible. I want to get the best view. I want things to be even with the limitations that I have. I want them to be fun. I want them to have interesting visuals. I want the people, if it's going to be somebody besides myself, I want them to be interesting. I want them to be people who I like. I want them to be nice people. I know a fair amount of people in this little town. I would rather show you the nicer people, honestly. And especially if I have a choice of who to show you, and if I have a choice of, oh, I'll narrow it down to 10 people. If I can choose based on certain attributes, I'm going to go by how kind are you. That's going to be my first criteria. Okay. And then, of course, I want you to be able to be coherent enough that you can say something and it's not going to be totally useless or make you look bad or me look bad. Like, for instance, just uh don't look like an idiot. How many times have I had somebody that otherwise I would like their footage, but they would start getting some jokes that ended up being really offensive in 2023, that you would get the social justice warriors after you or something, then obviously that's never going to see the time of day. Those aren't people that are ever going to be live streamed, by the way. Those are just the things you film ahead of time. And if it's good enough, I'll post it. If not, you'll never see it. You know. Now I loved it when we had concerts and stuff, but this year, first of all, Fish didn't come again. Second of all, the country acts, there's not really anybody that I knew. And it was just, oh yeah, because I was having problems with the policeman, I wasn't hanging out during that time of day as much. That's why you didn't get to see the beach concert stuff this year. I started getting jacked up by this cop on the 4 to 12 ship. Uh, his name rhymes with Stinkus. That's what I was told anyway. But when he told me all these different lies, and then I was waiting until like 1 in the morning to go out there. Indeed, I remind you guys, I'm a female. Should I have to put myself in danger by being out in the wee hours at night, in nighttime, because I want to stay away from the radar of some asshole cop on a 40 shift that likes to hassle people who are homeless or look like they're homeless or hang out with homeless people and lump us all together. And apparently that's a big thing that is going on. And I found out that a lot of the cops here think I'm a homeless person, and that's because of the company I keep. It's interesting. I bet the cops must have thought that in Los Angeles when I was a movie extra and when I was a dancer. How's about when I was homeless in Los Angeles and in San Francisco? And you know what? I don't know what at the time, I thought that I couldn't be mistaken for looking like a homeless person because surely I, they're homeless. So really, homeless does not have a look. But that said, I always, when I had the stage dancing jobs in Hollywood and stuff, I showed up for work and you would never know. Honestly, well, my kind of homeless was I lived in squats. The hardest it was to get access to our building was sometimes we had to crawl underneath the chain link fence. But really, we lived near the Pep Boys that was off of Hollywood Boulevard, and it was like near the Pantages Theater. If you guys know Hollywood, behind the Pantages Theater, kind of around there. And there's a street parallel to Hollywood Boulevard that goes up in the Hollywood Hills. It was kind of up around there, but man, Hollywood has changed so much since I lived here. And by the way, did you hear that there was a guy, they said that there was a serial killer that was targeting sleeping homeless people. And they were saying, don't sleep alone if you're sleeping homeless, be with other people. Well, I heard that they just caught somebody. So, because I was thinking, now, there's so many things you have to think about if you're going to be going to Los Angeles. And if in fact I do get out there soon, which I hope I do, I need to get to LA so I can get to my storages. I need to go through my storages and get rid of a bunch of stuff, sell stuff, give away stuff, bring some stuff back here. I guess I know that I'll have to bring my guitar necks back here, that they will be useful. See, that's the sort of thing I thought I would always have in LA because LA was all my rock and roll stuff. But I need to consolidate two things into one because I will put my rent in half. My mother, what her insurance company is trying to do to her, what they do to people that are closer to middle class is so messed up. Really, my mother is over 82 years old, and what they're doing to her. Did you know if she had to go to the emergency room, they would charge her $100 or maybe $200? If she had to go use an ambulance, they would charge her $100. That's ridiculous. I have, I guess, which must be the best kind of health insurance. It's called Medicaid. Free. It's free for me to go to the ER. It's free for me to get an ambulance if I need to go to the ambulance. I'm thinking, why would I need to go to the ambulance? I live a couple of blocks from the hospital. I can walk. You know, I'm a fast walker too. And heck, there's people that they have they call them hobo bagos, shopping carts. Put somebody in there. I told my mom if anything happened to her, they're going to charge you for that. No, I'll wheel you personally in a hobo bago. She thinks I'm joking. Seriously, I would do it. I love her. She's my mother. Plus, she's very heavy woman. You want to, the shopping. I mean, the laundry carts won't work. And mine's this tiny little cart, which you may have seen or not. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm so glad I told that guy off. And, because it was obvious. It wasn't just I'm holding these feelings inside and I'm thinking these things and I'm telling other people these things and talking behind somebody's back is all one thing. But when you actually say, you are hurting me, I would maybe you'll stop hurting me if I let you know how you're hurting me. And if a person truly is sociopathic, they don't care. And this is somebody who doesn't care. And it's not just I think using alcohol is an excuse too. They don't remember certain specific incidents. When I say specific incidents, and they never remember. And the thing is, as a person that quit drinking is coming on my 20-year anniversary without a drink. Yes, I have had blackouts, and I have blacked out. I'm sure some pretty douchebaggery things I must have done. And the thing is, it's bad enough. There's things I do remember just vague enough that, man, I'm so glad I don't drink anymore. But alcohol lets people do the stupidest things and make the worst. I was so capable of the worst lapses in judgment. And that said, alcohol, way people are, so I don't want to spill this. I still have a little bit. Yeah, I don't want to spill this. Plus, did you know that you can get resin stains on sequins and that dingies it up? And you don't want to do that. If you're wondering what this thing is, this is cut up paper plate. Certain person I live with waste paper plates by using them as notepad paper. And he starts to throw them out, and I take them out of the trash in the kitchen. I cut them up. They're really great to use. Stick them in either a candle or a kitchen stove. Do you hear the preaching downstairs? This is my live streams are definitely interesting. I, you know, I don't want to bore you. All right, I think I'm gonna. No, you know what? I don't want to smoke anymore. I want to enjoy that little bit I have left. It is still raining out there. My computer says it's 52 degrees out, so it's a very, if not for the getting wet in the rain, it's definitely a walkable day. And I thank you for watching me today. I can't believe it is 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 40 seconds. Yeah. But and today is the 3rd of December. And I guess this officially means that since I haven't gotten my package yet from Temu, that I'm probably going to be getting at least one $5 credit. Unless they're going to say it actually won't kick in until the 8th. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. I mean, really, the prices are so reasonable. I can't complain. And if the quality is anything like what I looked at so far, I haven't taken a look at their musical instrument accessories yet. I was just thinking about the things that I really needed that I was going to buy anyway. Okay, well, you guys, I think that's everything that I wanted to touch on. Thank you for tuning in to watch me. Have a good day. And it's a rainy day. You're not gonna get a sunburn. It's nice. Go out and maybe do something. Bye.